Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? It's another beautiful day here in Cajamarca, where I'm currently doing another reservoir cleaning. For the past week, me and the ATM have been going around different reservoirs in the district and assisting the local haces with their chlorination and cleaning. So I thought it would be a good idea to show you a more in-depth process of how this is done. But first, I have to put on my PPE. For anyone that isn't aware, we use chlorine solution to disinfect the inside of the reservoir. And if you've never worked with chlorine, you really don't want it touching your skin, which is why I have to put on this Breaking Bad looking equipment. You know, hazmat suit, boots, which are really hard to put on, mask, and of course goggles. Everything a wash volunteer or Walter White needs for their job. Once I've put everything on, I can head inside the reservoir and begin the cleaning. When you enter a reservoir, you'll see that there are many tubes around. For the most part, there are two tubes on the top. One where water can enter, another preventing the reservoir from overflowing, and two in the bottom. One where water can go into the homes and another that is a drainage pipe. Once the reservoir is empty, thanks to the drainage pipe, the first thing you need to do is brush out the remaining water and sediment left in the reservoir through that drainage pipe, basically sweeping it in. However, sometimes there's too much solid matter in the reservoir to sweep it inside the drainage pipe. So scooping it into a bucket and throwing it out might be your best option, like in this case, where this specific reservoir was full of mud and needed to be bucketed out. Once the reservoir is clear of all water and sediment, you can begin disinfecting it with the chlorine solution. Now, there are two ways of doing this. The first one, as you can see me do, is scrubbing the walls with the chlorine solution, using a broom or something similar, as well as also splashing the chlorine onto the walls itself, helping remove any bacteria. The other way is filling the reservoir to the brim with water and adding a specific amount of chlorine to it, which is more effective in the disinfection process of the reservoir, but does take longer. The most important things to remember when you're in a reservoir is to always stay safe. Never stay in there for long, and if you're feeling lightheaded or think that you were in direct contact with chlorine, get out of there as soon as possible to get help and maybe begin the decon process, which I will go over in a future video. But for now, that's it for me. I hope you've learned something new, and I hope to see you next time, okay? Bye!